I almost scratched this whole video, this full day of eating, because my day of eating has not gone as smooth. Is the lighting bad? It's all right. That's all right. This day of eating has not gone usually how my days of eating go. For the most part, I am home and I'm able to cook and eat exactly what I want, when I want, barring whatever my kids need from me. But I decided to continue this video because I realized actually that's not the reality for most people. Most people are here and there, out of the home, at work, doing this and that. Today has been a day like that for me. So I thought it would actually be more helpful to show you how I stick to my plan relatively to continue hitting my goals, which right now is to lose fat while maintaining muscle. I am right now in about a 10-week cut with the goal of losing around 15 pounds. That means I have to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is a little bit higher than I normally do. But I do know that once I reach the end of this cut, I do want to maintain for a bit before going back into another cut. And before I get to the food portion, if I were to give you 3 quick tips to lose weight, and I have lost without like GLP-1s, Ozempic or whatever, almost 60 pounds now, the 3 main tips I would give is consistency over perfection. That was like a really hard one for me, but once I realized that what was more important was sticking to things as much as possible for a longer period of time rather than trying to be perfect for a few days and then messing up one day and then being like, oh, screw it, I'll start over on Monday or whatever. Second tip, get those steps in. Walking is one of the most underrated ways to get your calorie burn up. It's pretty seamless, it's pretty easy, you can do it anywhere. During the winter months, I do use a walking pad. I would highly recommend getting one, especially during like an Amazon Prime day. Third tip, I would say track your food, but if you don't want to do that, at least track your protein. Eating a higher protein diet is going to help you maintain your muscle. It can help you build muscle when you're going in and out of dieting periods, and it's also going to keep you fuller for longer. If you're not tracking your protein and you've never tracked it before, it's very unlikely that you're getting, even knowing that I'm trying to eat higher protein, if I don't track my protein and then I get to the end of the day, I'm like, shoot, what protein did I eat? I'm hitting like 70, 80 grams maximum versus my goal is usually around 140 to 150 grams of protein. Again, depending on if I'm dieting, maintaining, maybe in like a very slight surplus. I think I want to do a full video on like weight loss and how I've maintained muscle, built muscle, and just like made my weight loss easier for me in another video. I know you're here for the full day of eating, so let's get to that. This morning at 5 a.m. before going to the gym, I had one date with some peanut butter and salt on top. I actually prepare this the night before and then I put it in the freezer and then I eat it from the freezer the next day. Today was a glutes and hamstrings day. Usually on my legs or glutes days, I do have 2 dates, but I actually only had 1 left. And then usually on my upper body days, which I have 2 upper body days a week, I would have 1 date just because I just don't need as much energy on those days. And I'd rather save my carbs for a little bit later for something yummier, I don't know. I like dates, but I don't love them. Like I'm not like serious about them like that. Along with my dates in the morning, I do take all my supplements. I take just a multivitamin from Ritual, and then I take a type of wellness, like immune support pill. I just like to take this during the sick months. Once I finish this bottle, I'll probably stop since we're exiting the flu season sick months. I also add an electrolyte packet in my water. Right now I'm using the electrolytes from ProMix. I've also used Liquid IV. I don't love Element. I think they're just like a little bit too salty, and I even do like double the amount of water recommended for electrolytes, and still Element is like pushing it for me. I take my water to the gym. I drink a lot of water at the gym specifically. I ended up drinking, I think almost 2 of my like big hydro jugs that are 32 ounces. And then throughout the day, my goal is to always drink at least a gallon. So I also drink out of my Stanley. I like having a different water bottle for the gym and a different water bottle at home. Is it extra? Yes, I just like it and it helps me drink more water. Maybe a third left of this. Also at the gym, I had a Celsius. I don't love Celsiuses. The only one I like is the cherry cola one. I think it's very yummy. And I am an energy drink girly. Are they the best for you? No, but I do like them. And I feel like I live a relatively healthy lifestyle, so I let myself have them. And if you want to get a really good pump at the gym, upping your water intake is a big part of that. I've realized the more water I drink actually during my workout, even before my workout, pumps can go crazy. Like today, the pump was crazy. After the gym, family obligation that we need to be at by 8. So we left home around 7:40. I didn't have time to make like my full breakfast. So I just grabbed a protein shake. I have these Koya Elite chocolate protein shakes. They also have a vanilla one that I love. And these have 32 grams of protein. If you want to try these out or anything else from Koya, they have a bunch of protein shakes. Like I mentioned, they have the vanilla Elite one. They also have like their normal protein shakes that have about 18 grams of protein, if I'm remembering correctly. Their cinnamon horchata one one is really good. Their matcha latte one is really good. All their flavors are good. If you want to try them out, you can use code NIK, N-I-K, or you can also get them at Whole Foods. That's where I see them a lot. Once we got back from the family obligation, I decided to take my kids to the park, but I knew I need to eat something more than a protein shake. So I ran inside real quick, grabbed some leftover apple. I used some of this apple last night for like my little nightcap. I just got a piece of sourdough with some almond butter, kept it very simple, nothing special, but it was very yummy. And it gave me the energy to play at the park with my kids, make sure that I was getting in at least some carbs and a little bit of fat to kind of make sure the carbs just don't go straight to my head. You do definitely want some carbs post-workout, even though it was a little bit delayed. It's not like, I feel like back in the day, the bro science was like, you better get your protein immediately, better get your carbs immediately, or like your workout's a waste of time. It's not that serious. And I've actually seen some studies show, especially for women, that if you wait a little bit after your workout, like an hour or so, sometimes that can be better because then our system is a little bit more regulated. Now it sounds like I'm just making up a bunch of words as I'm hearing myself, but I guess you can look into that yourself. After the park, it's Friday. I decided to take my kids to Dunkin' Donuts. I actually mostly decided to take them there because it's right next to our car wash that we have a membership at, but because the pollen has been going crazy, the lines of the car wash have been absolutely absurd. So I ended up not going to the car wash, but I still got them each a donut, and then I got myself a little coffee. I actually still have it. I got a small iced latte with almond milk, and then I got it doesn't say sugar-free. So hopefully they did do the sugar-free blueberry, but I got sugar-free blueberry added in. I usually have a coffee around this time, a little bit earlier at home anyway, and I use my own sugar-free syrup. I use almond milk, that's about 60 calories. So I can assume that at most, maybe like if they use, I mean, I could even look it up, but it's not that serious. Let's say they even use like sweetened almond milk, at most it'd be like 100 calories. A 40, 50 calorie difference is not gonna make or break me. Like I'm not in like a bodybuilding competition prep. I'm just trying to lose some fat for like my own want. It's not that serious. I was already out, got it with them instead of getting the donut, which like I feel like if I got nothing, I'd be like, oh, maybe I want a donut, even though I don't even like donuts that seriously like that. I'm a treats girly, but donuts are not at the top of my list. So I was like, let me get myself a coffee, get my kids a donut, and go on my way, and we enjoyed. It is almost lunchtime and my husband's actually about to pick us up Jersey Mike's. So again, maybe this video is not the most helpful as far as giving you recipes, but I think it can be very helpful for if you need to eat out and about, or if you're just having a particular busy day, or if you're just feeling like eating out and about, but you want to stick with your goals. 5 to 6 days out of the week, I am tracking what I'm eating very meticulously. I'm eating basically all at home, and then I probably have 1 to 2 days a week where either it's kind of like today, where I am eating out and about for most of my meals, or like on the go rather, or I'll have a day where I'm tracking everything at home, and then I have like what I call a quote unquote free meal at the end of the day, where I'm being mindful. Like I'm not going like crazy, but I'm being mindful, a little bit mindful, and I'll either do like just a full meal out, or I will give myself a treat. We have Paris Baguette across the street from our house, and they have these cookie croissants that I absolutely love, so like I'll do that. Or we also have Little Cakes Creamery. Where we live is not great for a treats girly like me. They have red velvet cookies. I also love those, so I'll do that maybe once a week. And I allow myself these treats, or like a quote unquote free meal, because for me, that is how I've been able to not only lose weight, but maintain the weight loss and make it not easy, but easier. To figure out what I want to get from Jersey Mike's, I like their Italian sub because there's no cheese. I particularly don't love cheese. Cheese is also quite high fat, which is going to make it high calorie, and then cheese also upsets my stomach. You could also get any other sub without cheese. Not getting cheese in a sub, or getting a sub that doesn't have cheese, is going to make it significantly lower calorie, because as I said, cheese is mostly fat, and fat has 9 calories per gram versus carbs and protein have 4 calories per gram. All I did was I used Claude instead of ChatGPT, because the CEO of ChatGPT, he's out. I just typed in how many calories are in the Jersey Mike's mini Italian sub. I then asked it like, okay, would it be less calories if I did the white bread or the rosemary Parmesan bread? I think the oil doesn't really, do you need something for me? Okay. I think the oil doesn't really add that much flavor, and all it's doing is adding calories. Again, oil is all fat, not even just mostly fat like cheese. It's all fat, and so it's going to be high calorie. You're really not going to taste it that much. Might as well take it out. I also asked how much protein is in the sub, because like I said, I track all my food, but I really pay attention to protein, and I want to make sure that majority of my meals I'm getting 20 to 30 grams of protein. Then I'll get some protein in most of my snacks as well. Obviously, because someone at the store is making the sandwich, it's not going to be exact, like they're not getting a little scale out and weighing everything, but knowing that the sub has about 430 calories, about 31 grams of protein, that is perfect for me for a lunch, especially because I know I'm likely gonna have like a little snack after. I'll probably actually have, because I'm feeling something sweet. My kids have these little Welch gummies, so I think I'll probably have that after I eat the sub. This is what I'll do also if I'm going out to eat with friends or something and I want to estimate how many calories I'm gonna eat. I don't know, as I'm thinking it, some people might be like, oh my gosh, it's doing so much. Personally for me, this works. So if I'm going out to eat with friends and I know where we're going to eat, I'll look at the menu and then I can just type it in and be like, hey, how many calories are in this? Estimate calories, kind of move things around. Maybe I see a meal that I want, but they use eggs and I do egg whites instead just to save on some fat, and it's basically gonna taste the same. I will, majority of meals, remove cheese. Like I said, cheese mostly hurts my stomach. I'm also not like a huge cheese person, and I know it is like one of the easiest ways to save calories on something. If you love cheese and it doesn't upset your stomach and cheese is like your thing, don't take cheese away. Kind of like I said, my thing is treats. I love a treat. So 1 to 2 times a week, I'm having an actual treat, not like a high protein, lower calorie treat. I'm having an actual treat because that's something that I love. And I think figuring out what you love and then figuring out what you can be like, you know what, I can step away from is really gonna be like, what's it called? A cheat code for weight loss if that's your goal, to lose some fat and gain muscle. I wasn't planning on filming this video like this, like with the overlay of the food and then speaking to you, but I'm actually liking this format, so let me know what you think. We are having tacos tonight, and since I'm making it at home, I can measure everything exactly. Some like little tips to kind of lower the calories while keeping the protein high. If you're making tacos at home, I know some people will go ground turkey or ground chicken. I personally think that doesn't taste good. I'll do ground chicken if the meal has something, like let's say it's like some kind of like casserole and it's just like the meat in there, or like if you're doing like a pasta dish and it has like a bunch of like tomato sauce, then that's fine. But ground chicken or ground turkey in a taco, personally for me, is just not good. So instead I will do ground beef, and then I'll just do 93.7 ground beef. I think 93.7 ground beef still tastes good. Again, this keeps repeating, you're going to save a lot of calories versus if you are having 80-20 beef, which is gonna taste better. Like, let's not lie to ourselves, it's gonna taste better. But the switch off, like the calorie switch off for when you are in a fat loss phase, is not worth having the 80-20 and trying to fit that into my calories, which is gonna lower like my food volume for the rest of the day versus just doing 93.7. I do weigh it out, making sure that I'm having 4 ounces of meat, which is 25 grams of protein. I will either do, let's say earlier in the day I had more carbs than normal, maybe I will do like just like a taco salad. Today in particular, it's Friday, it's the weekend. I also have purposely tracked to make sure that I could have some taco shells because I like some taco shells sometimes. And then I do lettuce, I do some salsa cooked in with the beef. I don't track salsa, it's so low calorie unless you're using like a salsa that has, I don't know, like I'm trying to, okay, yeah, maybe let's say you're using like a corn salsa. So maybe I would track that because a corn's gonna up it, or like a mango salsa because mango's gonna have more calories. But if you're just using like a regular tomato-based salsa, I personally am not tracking that super closely because it's just so low calorie. To top my taco, I also add more salsa, and then this is another little cheat code. Stop using sour cream unless you are like I don't know, foaming out the mouth for sour cream. Just stop. It's not even worth it. It tastes exactly the same as just using non-fat plain Greek yogurt, or because I don't have plain Greek yogurt today, I actually just used low-fat cottage cheese and it still worked. It doesn't look the most aesthetic. I feel like you can tell it's not sour cream, but especially like look wise. And a lot of these things that I'm telling you, it's our mind that looks at something and then like you can trick it. If it looks exactly like sour cream, when it's on top of your taco, you're eating it, really the only thing that sour cream is doing is adding in creaminess and a tanginess, which Greek yogurt does. Your mind won't know the difference. Maybe the first time, if you have been used to sour cream, the first couple times you might taste a little bit of difference, but so quickly your taste buds will change and you are saving so many calories. Again, if your goal is to lose fat, if you're just eating, especially if you're trying to gain weight, add the sour cream. But if your goal is to lose fat and maintain muscle, which you want to make sure your protein's high while you're in a caloric deficit to maintain your muscle, doing Greek yogurt or cottage cheese instead of sour cream will really save you those calories. For my final treat of the night, I think I've said this 10 times, I am a treat girly. At nighttime, I'm either having like a full fat, full calorie cheat, probably 2 times a week. And then the other times I'm having something that's more high protein and a little bit lower calorie. I will do like a Ninja Creamy with some mix-ins. I'll do a yogurt bowl with some fruit and granola or like protein cereal on top. I will sometimes, if I'm feeling like really lazy, I'll just do an apple with some almond butter, maybe like a protein shake, or something that I'll do is, I guess it's called like whey drip is what the bodybuilding girlies call it. I just add like a little bit of water to protein powder and mix it up, maybe some chocolate chips, and I just eat that, and it actually tastes good if you use a good protein powder. I'll also do a buffin muffin. A buffin muffin is a real treat because these things are unfortunately like $7, and then you have to pay for shipping as well. But I absolutely love them. I think they're great. I see some comments of people saying that they're dry, and I'm just like, you guys, like, let's be so for real. You know it has protein in it. You know they're using protein powder. You know that the macros are better than like a regular store-bought muffin. You cannot expect it to be the most amazing thing ever. For the macros, we're getting 20 to 25 grams, sometimes almost pushing 30 grams of protein for a muffin that tastes good. Count me in. I'm in. Today I had the buff served one. I actually just got an order in, so now I have a bunch of flavors to try, but that's the one I decided for tonight. I hope this video was helpful. I hope, even though I didn't really cook that many meals at home, that it was helpful for those of you that are really busy all the time or just have a particularly busy day. Oh, I can hear them delivering the buffin muffins. If you have a particularly busy day and you're just trying to figure out, okay, I do have goals of losing fat, but how do I do this while needing to eat out and about or needing to eat in the go? Let me know if you do want that video on how I've lost almost 60 pounds and maintained the weight loss and like still been able to enjoy my life and like go out with friends, have my sweet treats, and still do that and maintain muscle. I think I've maintained some muscle. We're still working on that though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Bye.